Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Porting Via Ports with yours truly, Mech Merlin. Let's see who is online tonight. See Cajoler, Luke AFK, Duncan Yo-Yo, Sav KB, and a better player. Thanks, guys, for joining in. And as usual, before we start the stream, what is Merlin drinking tonight? Something you've all seen before. Another port, actually. One of my favorite ports. In fact, I'd probably rank this as my number 2 port that I've ever drank on stream. First one being the Taylor Flatgate. This one's second. This one's about, I think this was 17 bucks from the grocery store. There we go. Better player executing it. Here we go. Oh, looks like my neighbors tonight are being a bit rowdy. You can hear them. If you guys hear any running going around, that's the neighbors. Nuclear Monstrous Redeemed Hydrate. Thank you. Thank you very much. There we go. Alright. Let's say. Let's turn on the jazzy playlist. I figure I should always have a jazzy playlist whenever I am drinking wine. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, I'd say this is probably my second favorite port of all time. I still have to go get another Taylor Flatgate one, but I'd say a close tie to second is another Washington port. Let me pull it out actually. This one. Here's another really good one that I like. This one's from Marrowstone Vineyards. It's called Mystery Bay Red Wine. Washington State Red Wine. Let's see, where was this? Nordland, Washington, actually. But that's not what I'm drinking today. I'll maybe drink this in a week. Who knows? We'll see. Look, it's even got like a wax seal on top. Into whiskey as well, or prefer wine? I'm into whiskey as well, but you know, just to stay in line with the theme of the show, since we're porting, I better drink port. Alright, as you guys are probably already seeing, I have a board in front of me that we'll be porting into Via today. But first, quick backstory. Long ago, when I was a noob into this hobby, I bought a Magic 468 off of Amazon. This board's like, what, 40 bucks brand new? So it literally comes to you like this. It's also called like a Smart 68, but the community better knows it as a Magic 468. So yeah, bought this board. Used it for, I'd say, 2 months. Even did a review on it. In fact, that review is still on YouTube. But, you know, I soon grew bored of it. Just because, you know, how far can like a $40 board really go, right? So things have changed ever since I got it. What you're looking at right now is our cat keycaps right here. The original keycaps were also black on white, but, you know, it just didn't fit me all that well, so I changed it to cat profile caps. In addition, I also changed the PCB to this guy right here, the Tragicforce 68 from Keebio. It's a Pro Micro powered board, and you can actually combine, or you can connect the Pro Micro over to the actual USB port that the board has. Look at that. But these boards are $8.99 the last time it was sold. I believe its latest price when it was not discontinued was like 20-ish bucks or something like that. So I bought one of those and ended up putting alias switches on it. Here, show you guys. I believe these are the 60G. Feel really light. Hence, I also want to say thank you for QMK work. Just built the Southpaw 75 and it's awesome, dude. Thank you. I am a nice fellow with silly hats, indeed. So yeah, this is how the board looks as is right now. As you can see, I did a little cutout for the reset button right there, but this is a completely Pro Micro powered board. And over time, I just got bored of it, right? Like, you know, as you progress in this hobby, you tend to buy nicer and better boards. But still, something about this layout right here, with the two, I guess, macro keys over here, insert and delete, page up, page down. This layout really made me happy. Like, I like 65%, but something about it being this separated makes it so much easier to type on. So I know there have been other boards that were inspired by this. I think there was that, oh gosh, I forgot. Like, I think Switch Mod has a board that looks just like this, except it's high profile and all that. So yeah, but before all that, there was the Tragicforce, and tonight we're gonna put V on it. Why am I doing this now, so many years into the future? Mainly because I have sold this board, and I've told the customer that, wait, before I mail it off to you, I should totally put VIA on it. So after tonight, after I get VIA working, off it goes into a shipping box. So yeah, that is our goal for today. Why am I finally selling it after so many years? Well, I figure, you know, things just pile up in this room. As you guys can see, I've got an entire rack full of keyboards right over there. And, you know, like, you guys don't see the floor here, but I have like boxes and boxes of stuff that I'm sorting through right now. I'm doing a Mech Merlin fire sale on my Discord server, in which I've sold quite a few items for probably 20% of like what I bought them for. So if you guys are interested, hit up my Discord server. Let me put that in the link really quick. I tend to put stuff every now and then. Like, the first round of stuff went up on Monday, so most of it's already gone, but I fully expect to have more tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think I'll be posting lots of different switches. I've got like thousands of switches here that just need to go. So yeah, hopefully I can get rid of that stuff and make room for newer stuff. Doc Thumb says, wow, that's the only 65% I might actually use with that layout spacing. Sell some wine. Instabuy. I'm not sure what the wine selling laws are. If I were to sell it from Washington, how am I going to legally sell it? How am I going to legally ship it? Not so sure. Not so sure. But while I'm getting set up here, just want to say a thank you to everyone who followed and subscribed while I wasn't streaming. Quite a few people here. Friendly Lamp, Mac, KOF, Hot Dog Fingers, Austin Trey, Omega Inferno, Julie Muncie, Oak 2094, Carlos Casarubio, Chief Yogurt, Hunter Rex, Joshua Miyakawa, Patrick ELS, Ryan Hoang, Steiner JXC, Ednery, Grand Panda, CRBN, Dom D Dom, Dark Drianic, Jamie Mott, Baston Visors, and quite a few more. Thank you guys. Thank you. So here, let's see. While I'm setting up, you guys can watch me as I drink some wine and set up all this code. Better Player says, let me know if you want something from the Napa area. Ooh, very cool. Oh wait, I'm typing on a board that's not plugged in. Let me type on this board while I set things up here. Yeah, this is a Keebio board. Let's see. Here we go. So for those of you who are tuning in for the first time and wanting to learn how to do this VIA porting, this QMK porting, pretty much I'd say all of my videos on Tuesday nights follow the same procedure. So if you feel that what I talk about tonight is like unclear, other videos I might explain it better, and other videos I might explain it a little less better, you know? It just really depends, but think of tonight as just an example of one particular board. But it's pretty much like the same procedure across, how many boards have I done at this point? Probably, I'd say I'm closer to 100 at this point. Let's see. YSO says, sorry, have to mute your stream for a second to watch your group buy news YouTube vid. Oh boy. Well, as long as you're still watching me, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so to start this off, a quick explanation of VIA. VIA is a GUI used to control QMK firmware. In order to put VIA support on in a board, there are some requirements. Number one, it needs to be QMK compatible. And number two, the chip that it has, or the board that it has, needs to have an EEPROM. So the difference being QMK firmware stores the key maps in the flash, VIA stores key maps in the EEPROM. So if you don't have an EEPROM, you can't do VIA. So to start this off, to add VIA support, it comes in two parts. The first part is adding a QMK firmware key map, and the second part is creating a VIA JSON that the VIA app will then consume and read. So I like to start doing the QMK firmware portion. So what we have right here is QMK firmware, and I'm in the Keebio directory. As you can see, he's got quite a few boards here from the BDN9, but what we want is the Tragicforce right here. I've actually always wondered, why did he call it the Tragicforce? Don't really know. Baking Pie says, oh damn, I already have a VIA port of this board in a branch. Dude, I looked everywhere, could not find one. So I'm like this board should already be in. So if you don't have it merged, if you don't have it pull requested, I'm gonna take care of it. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Baking Pie is the proprietor of Keebio. He's also a very generous sponsor. If you guys want to check out his store, I keep typing on the wrong board here. Definitely click on that link. And if you use discount code robeandhat, kudos to all of you who know where that is from. You get up to 15% off select items. Haven't pushed to GitHub. Hopefully you have it at least source controlled. But here we go, here we go. First things first. If you want to add VIA support to a board, it's as easy as adding another key map. So what I like to do here is take the default key map, whatever it may be, and just copy paste it. Copy paste, like so. As a result, you'll get something called default copy. Of course, you don't want to name it like that. We want to name it VIA. Boom. Just like that. And you're almost done. You're actually almost done at this point. So click on the file that you created, and oh, interesting. This is a very visual key map. It's actually really pretty. Let's see. Did you do this, Baking Pie? Did you make it all pretty? Let's see, this is my Git lens. Yep, there it is. Danny, 2 years ago on August 31st, 2018. 11:13 a.m. Nice. That's pretty cool how you made it really fancy like this. Okay. So here's the thing. VIA supports up to 4 layers. And if you don't define all the layers, you may end up with some garbage values. So we want to make sure that we define all 4 layers. So let's see. Let's make things easy. Let's take out all these #define, just make it 0 and 1. Mainly because I don't want to have to think of different names for those other additional layers. And from there we want to make two more layers. Two more layers. This next one is layer 2. Yeah, I've noticed, like, whenever I'm talking to people online and I'm trying to help them with their key maps, everyone thinks that the base layer, this guy right here, which has your QWERTY, your your numbro, your arrows, or like whatever, everyone thinks that's layer 1. Or when I say, oh, your board has 2 layers, you know? Then it's like that. See, Baking Pie says, pushed my Tragicforce JSON to my repo. Awesome. If you want to let me know what your vid and PID are for this would be great. I can get this set up. Okay, here we go. As I said, you want to define these layers. So in reality, you actually can just call them whatever. Oh, hold on. I notice you already have the space defined, so I can just copy and paste that, no problem. I'm trying my best not to break any of this, because this is really pretty. Okay. You know what? Here. Let's try not to break it. Anyone who takes their time to make their key map look this pretty deserves applause, because this is gorgeous. Admittedly, it's not all that useful unless you're trying to determine what your key map is. But with VIA these days, like, you don't, like, I bet that most people who used to look at the code for their key map now just go look at VIA. That's what I'm assuming. Non-Prixon redeemed Hydrate, and so did Cyndakill. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As you may notice, I'm not drinking the wine for that because it is against terms of service, Twitch terms of service, to do stuff like this when alcohol is involved. So I am specifically drinking water. Yeah, though admittedly, I'm such a small streamer that Twitch doesn't care all that much. I think it's only when you're like, oh, you have 5,000 people watching you today. Oh boy. That's when they care. But when it's just like, what, how many people do we have tonight? 32 viewers, or even on my group buy streams when I have like close to 200, I don't think they care all that much at that point. Quinn Captain, thanks for joining in. When are you sending me my Big Dell Extended? You're here for the boring nerd stream. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel Tuesdays are definitely the more boring streams, but I'd say it's also the most educational. I've had tons of people message me and say, "Hey Merlin, I used 3 of your streams and I figured out how to do my board, blah blah blah." And I'm like, perfect. That is exactly why I do this stream. So that people will have an opportunity to do it themselves. Like, the way I look at it, there are over 1,300 boards in QMK, and I would wager that not even half of them are in VIA yet. Duncan Yo-Yo subscribed at tier 1, subscribed for 16 months. Dude, thank you, thank you, thank you. Never fear, but there will be emotes soon. Well, I've been in talks with someone for a very long time. It's just taking them a while, but I am pushing them. I'm pushing them. Cyndakill says, "Can anyone explain what's going on here?" I am adding VIA support. And right now I am trying to make it look pretty. Oh, while I'm doing this, I just remembered. So, on some of my key maps that I've played with before, I've put backlight controls on the arrow keys, and I was always wondering to myself, who did I grab that from? I grabbed it from here. This is where I grabbed it. Deleted an underscore. I guess we'll We'll find out soon. There we go. Yeah, Keebio is where I borrowed the lighting controls on the arrow keys from. Alright, here we go. Okay, let's just make sure that before I add another layer, I'm just going to make sure that everything here looks pretty. Make Keebio Tragicforce 68 : via. Will that work? Nuclear Monitor says Gothic 70 strikes again, found a bridge on one of the bracket keys. Oof. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Got it. I got it. And with that said, we can make one more layer and we're pretty much done. Also, baking pie, if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind messaging me on Twitch or whisper me on Twitch that link that you were trying to send me earlier. I don't allow people to just post links on chat, though I should probably let you, because you are a sponsor. There we go. There we go. Okay. Here we go. I can probably guess the rest of this, but hold on. So once you've created all 4 layers, this is where the actual magic occurs. In the same directory. Oh, shoots. Hold on. Well, I guess that's fine if I added the layers in here too. I actually modified the default key map, but that's fine. Default key map could use extra layers. Here we go. You got Baking Pie's BDN9 plugged in right now. Nice. That is a board I still need to make. Uh-oh. Okay, errors galore. Let's see. First one is where? What did I screw up here? Here, let's take out. Earth Sojourner says, how's Bluetooth implementation in QMK and VIA? Bluetooth can work, but I think we only support select chips. And the select chips that we have are not very power efficient, if I remember correctly. Line 44's got an extra key that looks like. Does it? Can't see where the extra key is. Oh, here, I see it. It's stupid. It always asks it, like, if you add a comma to the end of the line, it's gonna think that there's another key in addition to that. So that's the issue. That's the issue. Little gotchas like that, really. All right, okay, let's Let's make the VIA file. Perfect. Okay, so now that we have all 4 layers defined, this is where the magic happens. In that same directory, in that same VIA directory, create a new file called rules.mk. In this file, you have to type in this incantation, via_enable equals yes. And with that, you've enabled VIA. So of course, there's a little more to it, but this is the core of it. This is the core of it. In addition to VIA enable equals yes, I also like to do LTO enable equals yes. What LTO does is that it makes sure that your compiled firmware is as small as possible so it doesn't take as much room. So here we go. Last but not the least, you also need to go into your config.h file right here. And it looks like, oh. So normally on a lot of boards, the vendor ID and the product ID is not defined. So because Keebio does a good job with this, this is already defined. I don't have to worry about that. But you need to define these because this is how VIA detects what board you've got. So with that said and done, let's make another firmware file. Alright, so Jordan says Tragicforce and Magicforce. Yeah, in fact, here, let me talk about it a little bit more while we're doing this. The Tragicforce PCB is a Magicforce 68 PCB replacement. It's Pro Micro driven, but yeah, apparently it was only $8. It was only $8. So yeah, here we go. Looks like it compiled just fine. We are now going to flash the Magicforce. Why Tragic? That is actually a question I've wondered all these years. I don't know why. Why is it Tragic? And there we go. So I still have my handy USB mini here. Let's see, this might probably be the last board that I have to worry about this on. Okay, board's plugged in. Let me just see if I can type anything in chat. Uh-oh, it's not working out. Let's try. That boy with Twitch says, what are these keys? This is a Magicforce 68. This is a stock keyboard that you can purchase from Amazon. It's always a tragedy when you have to replace the PCB. Alright, that's... Okay. It's not really typing for me for some reason. Here, let's see if I can... Tragic plus VIA equals magic. Let's see if... Alright. Hopefully that flashes. Uh-oh, it's not detecting the USB port. Oh wait, I know what happened. I know what happened. Hold on. I have a fairly special Magicforce. It has a different bootloader on it. So let me try that again. Oh, I get it now. Baking Pie, thanks for that explanation. I've just never knew. I've always wondered. I guess I should have asked earlier. Bootloader not present. Oof. Okay, what's going on? Looks like we will need to take apart this board to find out. Let's see. Good thing it's not too difficult, if I remember. Let's see. Yeah, I really haven't touched this board in such a long time. Come out, screw. There we go. All right. If I remember correctly, I believe there might be... You know what? I might have to watch my YouTube video. Let me just... Can't remember if there are any screws in the plate. Though I feel like it's just removing these feet will do it. There are 6 screws if I recall correctly. It says baking pie. If I remember correctly, there's probably some on the bottom here. If I can just peel it off. Yep, found it. Restream my YouTube video. Nice. There we go. There's one. Ethan redeemed hydrate. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nope. Have to peel it from the correct side. There we go. You have to see what's going on. You know, it's gonna be just my luck if the... Uh-oh. There goes the screw. Well, I'll find that screw later. Yeah, what I'm thinking is happening, and I really hope that that's not the case, is the Pro Micro might have died over time. There we go. There it is. That's what it looks like. So you can see there's a daughter board right there. This is the little cable connector here. I'm actually going to isolate the daughter board and just plug it in directly to the Pro Micro, if I can. So that means I'm going to need a micro USB. Matt, Baking Pie says, just an MF68. Oh, I was unaware that they were different. Good thing I opened it. Let's see, is the MF68 a different board? Yes, it is. This one is actually from the 40% Club. Ooh. Here, let's go look. And boy, did I not clean off the flux there. I can see a lot of flux remaining. Alright. Well, what I thought was a Tragicforce PCB is actually an MF68. There we go. Okay. Well, regardless, I'm going to see if I can bring this into bootloader mode. So the question is the MF68... Here, let me take a look really quick. %, club. MF68. Yep, MF68 doesn't have a VIA key map either. Okay, perfect. Nuclear monsters redeemed hydrate, thank you. Alright, I'm just gonna check if I can actually put this into bootloader mode. Because if the board itself is dead, nope, board is fine. Can it jump into bootloader mode? Yep, it jumped into bootloader mode. Okay. So there's probably something wrong with the connection, but yeah, we'll diagnose that later. We'll actually have to take a few steps back now that I know it's an actual MF68 PCB. We will replicate the same steps we just did, but instead of the Tragicforce, we're just gonna do it on the MF68. So let me just backtrack here really quick. Since Baking Pie claims that he's got stuff in VIA already, he just hasn't pushed it, we will let him do it. Alright, here. Restart. Restart. We actually want the MF68 right there. Basically the exact same steps that we just did, but on a different board. Copy and paste that default key map. Rename it to VIA. There we go. And this guy seems to have 3 layers. What's different with this 3rd layer? Huh. It's almost identical, except for a numpad? There's a... Whoa, that's weird. Interesting. Alright, anyway. This is fine and dandy. Let's fix things up. 3rd layer has scuffed macro pad. Okay, yeah, that's just such a weird place to put your macro pad. We might not keep it. How about that? They didn't use the numpad key codes. I can imagine. Okay, let's see. You know what? I think I might just do away with that layer entirely, because it looks ugly. Yeah, while I'm doing this, I will not be having a Thursday stream, mainly because it's Thanksgiving. And my Saturday stream is up in the air at this moment. Don't know what we'll be doing. I don't have an actual build planned anyway, so if I were to stream on Saturday, it would probably just be a personal build. I do have a few boards that I want to redo. Like, for example, my Sirius 60. Last month, the backspace stabilizer popped out. And I was like, such a pain, such a pain. And if you guys remember that build stream, I had such a hard time putting that plate foam in. So yeah, really not looking forward to having to rebuild it, which is probably why I haven't done it yet. But we'll see, we'll see. The sad thing is I use Durock stabs on that, I believe. So even those still pop out. Earth Sojourner says, Vega's coming this weekend too. Shh. What's that? I've never heard of it before. Could you pop it back in without desoldering? Well, that's the thing, you know, like, I think I might swap them out to Durock V2s. So I will have to take everything apart just to, quote unquote, do it correctly. Alright, looks like we're compiling just fine with our 3 layers, so I feel confident to add that 3rd layer. I mean that 4th layer, sorry. Desolder with FR301. With my FR300, actually, I do not have an FR301. Alright. Okay, looks good. CEEB 0510. Okay, just to be sure, I'm gonna check his other boards, make sure that that vendor ID is a consistent CEEB. Let's see, his Nano is a CEEB. His 9 is a 3430. Ooh. And his Nori is a feed. Okay. His Tomato is a feed. His UT47, which I think is his most popular board, is also a feed. Okay, what other boards are there? There's the Gherkin. Gherkin's pretty popular, right? Also a feed. I'm gonna go with... what's in the 9, which is 3430 at 40. That seems to be the most correct, so to speak. See, Xenophobia says, the source is copied from baking pies. Ooh, okay. Let's see, product ID MF68. Let's see. Let's see if we can do a... So an M is 4D. So M68, let's do that. M68, so that's 4D68. M68. There we go. not quite, but yeah. Should be fine. M68. Okay. We're good there. What else do I need? Oh yeah, I need to actually turn on VIA. Rules.mk. Rules.mk VIA enable equals yes. LTO enable equals yes. And there we go. We've compiled. Yep, it's compiled. Let me pour myself another glass in celebration. And I'm actually going to flash the board now. Let us flash the board. Actually, hold on. This is what I need to edit here. Since this is a Pro Micro, the bootloader is a Katarina, but this particular Pro Micro was given to me by Jan Folly, another one of our QMK collaborators, and he flashed it with QMK DFU. So we need to actually change that in the bootloader so that the flash command works. So I'm not going to save that particular change. It's just for this particular MF68. So here goes. Let's flash it. Since my cable's so short, you guys won't actually see me do any of the flashing because it's on my lap here. Just know that I actually pressed the reset button, and I'm going to press flash. And it's compiling the key map. I'll transition back to the terminal screen here. Erasing the flash. Boom, boom, boom. Yup, it is. It's in there. I will now attempt to type in chat. Hello. Hello world. There we go. Perfect. Excellent. Board works. So now I just need to make sure, just because this guy didn't quite work for me. I wonder what's going on. Let me plug that back in. Let me plug that back in. Let's grab my other cable here. Okay. Board should technically be plugged in, but it's not. Oh, I did actually hurt myself. I'm bleeding. Yeah, it's not typing. It's not typing at all. Oh gosh, my blood's going everywhere here. Hold on. Let me grab a Band-Aid. So I don't just bleed all over this board. There's something going on with that connection. I might have to reconfigure it. BRBs. Alright folks, you guys get to choose for me. Should I do the Hello Kitty Band-Aids? Or should I do the Star Wars Band-Aid. Which one should I put on? Yeah, I think I must have like hurt myself on one of these solder joints. You know what? This is probably one of the very first boards that I soldered on. Let's see, let's examine my joints here. Fairly decent. I think the ones that look a little bit off are the diodes. Let's say, Xenophobia says Hello Kitty 100%, Cynical says Hello Kitty, Hello Kitty, Hello Kitty, Hello Kitty, Bacon and Tuna says Star Wars. You know, at this point, most of the people want Hello Kitty, so let's do Hello Kitty. There we go. Oh look, they have are they different? There's one that's ribbons, there's one that's Hello Kitty herself. Yeah, so there's two kinds. There's two kinds. Alright guys, ribbons. Not sure if you guys can actually see it, but here. Which one? Ribbons or Hello Kitty? Hurry up guys, I'm bleeding out here. Which one should I do? When says Hello Kitty ribbons. Alright, we're gonna do the Hello Kitty. It's smaller too. It's not like the cut's very big, but when I press on a key, that's when the blood comes out. Let's go with the Hello Kitty since it's smaller. How big is your cut? I literally like poked one of the solder joints, so there's a hole there. It doesn't bleed until I press a key. Ban the guy saying ribbons. Oh boy. You know what? This might be the second stream that I've injured myself. I think the first stream that I injured myself on, I burned myself with the desoldering gun. Alright. I'm not gonna bleed over my keycaps anymore. Ban the guy saying ribbons. There we go. Alright, okay, we're good. So, there is something the matter with my ribbon cable here. And look, there's even blood on my PCB now. Okay, let me clean off this blood. Let me clean off this blood. Alright, here goes. Clean off the blood. Well, it is a personal build. Well, it is a personal build. But I've since sold it, actually. So I do have to make sure it's clean to some extent. I am curious though why it's not working. So the problem isn't with the Pro Micro itself, it's with the daughter board. So I'm just gonna take this opportunity to clean off this excess flux that I'm seeing. Like when I first built this board, I wasn't too aware of the dangers of not cleaning your PCB. Look at that, it turned yellow right away. Blood pack permanent purchase. And so it looks like I actually brushed this. Seems like I brushed it, but I didn't really clean off the remaining flux, because that's just, it's really dirty. Do. Well, it's definitely cleaner than when I first opened it. And all traces of blood have been removed from the PCB. But the good thing is, I'm not selling the caps, because most of the blood is where the caps are. Here, let me show you guys. Look at that bloody U and Y. Bloody keycaps. Okay. There is something wrong with this ribbon connector. So to be fair, when I got this from Baking Pie, someone say Merlin's true name. When I purchased this from Baking Pie, the connector definitely worked. And it's remained in place all these years. So I'm honestly super curious why it would have broken. Please clean the keycaps. So the keycaps are mine. I'm not selling them, so I will definitely clean them off. Alright, I'm just gonna take off this daughter board. What happened to my finger? I cut it on one of the solder joints, actually. Do you guys know that YouTube channel where this guy, he's like he's always talking about like electrical projects. He's like, oh, be careful not to do this, and then he touches two components together and he like zaps himself, and it's always like super dramatic. I'm not sure if you guys know that channel. I wonder what would happen if I made like a keyboard build scene where it was all just me zapping myself and all that. Electro Boom, yes, that's him. Alright, let's just check to make sure that it's not, like, I took it out, so we're going to test that this should work. So, you know, like, if you like touch it like that, it's like no. Oh look, it's blinking, so does it type? It does not type. It does not type. Could it be the cable? Yes, it could be the cable. Let me find another cable. Let's find another cable. That's if I have another one of these, you know. Let's find another mini B. got another one. Got another one. Let's try it. Let's try this guy. Yeah, so when I plug it in directly to the Pro Micro, it works. But if I plug it in with the daughter board, it doesn't work. So now I've changed the cable, the USB cable, and let's see if that makes a difference. Alright, it's a solid green. Let's type. It is typing. Okay, it was definitely the cable. So didn't have to actually open up the board and hurt myself. Oh yeah, let's put this all back in. Put this all back in. It was not the cable, it was the board. Redeemed hydrate, thank you. Let's see, which way does it go? Yep. Like, get this. It's only within the last year and a half or so that our community has started using daughter boards, but people like Tragicforce have been doing it for years. When Captain, yes I did. I remember your hydrate. There we go. Alright. So I remember that this was somewhat fairly hard to seal. Just because, you know, they never really expected anyone to be doing this. You'd love to see daughter boards become more commonplace? Me too, actually. Me too. But I think a large part of that has to deal with, you know, PCB designers to know what's good or not. Like I feel like every month or so we've got a new PCB designer, and it's usually someone who's been like, oh, I read up on IO3's guide, or oh, I read up on Kunal's guide on the GH60, blah blah blah, all that stuff. I know how to design PCBs now. Like, granted, those guides are great, will get you up and running, but IO3 is also in school for electrical engineering. You know? He did not take all of his knowledge and put it into that thing, into that document. What's the attraction to daughter boards? Number one, IO3 is making a daughter board that has ESD protection built in. So it's like a quick way to upgrade your existing board. Number two, a lot of PCB failures are when people unplug their board correctly, which is obviously a PEBCAC error, you know. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. But rather than having to desolder your entire board, you can just swap out that USB-C board, that USB-C daughter board. Easy peasy. Also, it allows you to put your USB-C pretty much anywhere on the board. Like, you don't have to put it in line with the PCB, which I think is actually the greatest reason why you would want one. Like, if you look at a key cult, so a key cult has the USB-C daughter board placed at the very bottom of the case, whereas the PCB is placed in the middle of the case. There we go. All right. Let's plug the board in again and type, right? Just to make sure I got this right. Yep, it's typing all right. Hello. Okay. Looks good. Let me just remove all traces of my blood from this keyboard. Win says hello. Okay, whoever I'm selling this to better not leave it at some crime scene. They're gonna be like, oh, there's absolutely zero evidence in this crime except there's a keyboard with blood on it. And it traces back to this YouTuber by the name of McMerlin. So yeah, he better not put it up at some scene of the crime. Check it with the UV light. I don't think I have a UV light here. Isn't it like a black light? That's what it is? Alright, well, now that we've been sidetracked a lot, we at least have the QMK firmware done. The QMK firmware with VIA enabled done, so now we can actually get over to the JSON bit. So the wonderful thing about this PCB is that it really only supports one layout. So we only have to do one layout for VIA. Perfect. Javon says I'd pay extra for Merlin blood, Keeb. Jeez, man. That's kind of creepy. Speaking of blood, I'm not sure if it's been substantiated, but apparently there was a KISS comic book in which all the members of KISS put a drop of their blood into the red paint. And that paint was used to print a bunch of KISS comic books. Quappa says, are you a white middle-aged mom? Yes, I am. I am indeed a white middle-aged mom. Do your homework, kids! Alright, here we go. Let's see, okay. So what you've seen here, what I just did before all of the blood business here, is that I made QMK firmware with VIA enabled. Just as a quick walkthrough, we created a VIA key map right here. VIA key map had 4 layers that we had to define. We then had to create a rules.mk file with 2 lines in it. VIA enable, which actually enables VIA, and LTO enable, which makes the firmware as small as possible. On top of that, we had to go to the, let's see, config.h here and make sure it had a unique vendor ID and product ID. For this board in particular, and only for this board, since I had a custom bootloader on it provided to me by Yanfali, I had to modify the bootloader here, so we can actually forget about that now. So next up is to actually create the VIA JSON, which occurs in a completely different repository than QMK. This is a different repository run by different people. So people like Xenophobia, myself, and Baking Pie do not have control over it. So give me a moment while I take care of that really quick. Oh, it's really hard to type with this with this band-aid on. Ah, delete. There we go. Get a better keyboard? You mean get a better finger? Let's see. Here we go. So this next bit, the second half of the stream, all my info will be derived from caniusevia.com. Caniusevia.com has documentation such as this. Basically, this tells you how to create the VIA JSON. And within this VIA JSON, you need a few required properties such as the name, vendor and product ID, which we talked about, the lighting, and matrix and the layouts, all that good stuff. I like to start over here in the layout section. And the way to do that is through keyboard layout editor. In this case, let's see. One of the benefits of the Tragicforce 68 is, check it out, it's actually all standard layout. Look at that. It's got a standard right shift, standard 1.25U modifiers, standard 6.25. Even these guys, insert, delete, page up, page down, these are like standard TKL right here. So any old key set should do. So we can start off by actually doing a default 60%, like so. And then just add a few keys here. Let's try and mimic this as best as possible. Yep, looks good. Add another key. And 4 more keys, like so. What switches are in there? These are alias 60Gs, silent switches. I think when I first bought this board, I had fully intended to use it for work. And I did. I used it for like a good month or two before I got bored of it. There we go. That looks like a nice Tragicforce 68 right there. Perfect, perfect. Right, let's go ahead and remove all the legends like that. And one thing with the VIA is that you need to make the colors of the key map similar to GMK Olivia. So I just have to pull up GMK Olivia here. So I always forget. Are the arrow keys mod colored? Yes, they are. Okay, perfect. Let's do that. How about the navigation? Yep, yes they are as well. Wait, something's not right there. There we go. No, wait. That's the accent color, actually. Accent color. Perfect. Okay, we're good. And let's take a moment to talk about what needs to be filled out here. So as an example, I'm just going to put 2 numbers on the top leftmost legend. So what these 2 numbers mean, or what they signify, is the row and column. In this case, I've labeled the entire row 0 as row 0, and all of them are column 0. We actually need to fix this, and the way to find that out is to go back into QMK Firmware. Well, let's do that really quick. Here we go, we are back in QMK Firmware. This is probably the last time I show this on stream, but we want to pay attention to specifically MF68.h, like so. Oh my gosh, what is this doing there? We're gonna have to clear that out. But basically, we want to mimic this right here. You see this K0001, all that stuff? All this needs to be copied into here. So I'm just gonna look at this off to the side here while I populate the rest of this board. Man, I just realized this is the first time I've injured myself on a coding stream. To be fair, I really should have checked the cable first. Sometimes I feel like I jump ahead of myself. I'm like, oh, it can't possibly be the cable. Let me open up the board first. Oh my gosh. Javen says, can someone buy me a K? Thanks. You know, now that I've been seeing pictures of it, I've been like, maybe I should have joined that group buy. Maybe I should have just, you know, tried my best to join, even though it was super expensive. Because that was a really good looking board. And I've worked with Mono-K before. Mono-K made my Kira 60, and I've been very, very impressed. Oops. Proves coding could be lethal because I cut myself. Well, I cut myself on the darn PCB. Seven, 8, 30, 31, 32. So not sure how many of you guys are in the States, but how many of you have Thanksgiving plans or are trying to make the best of this Thanksgiving given our current climate these days? Earth Soldier says, have you decided on the NK65 Alu or Blueman? Actually, it's interesting that you've mentioned that, because yesterday all I did was type on the Blueman, and today all I did was type on the Alu, and the Alu actually feels better to me and sounds better to me, but the Blueman looks better. So I think I'm slowly coming to a conclusion here. Quinn says, my Thanksgiving plans are to violently shoo away any family members who think it's cute to drop in for a surprise visit. Javon says, I'm on Mars, we don't have Thanksgiving over here. Planning on building your Vega this Thanksgiving. Dude, did you already receive it? Earth Sojourner is thinking more for Black Friday than Thanksgiving. So speaking of Black Friday and NK65s, apparently, I just found out about this today. NK65s, there's a D stock NK65 that Novelkeys will be selling, and starting this Friday, these D as in dog, D stock NK65s are going for $25. That's that's so cheap. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm just like, what do you get for $25? You get like, do you get like a completely cracked NK65? Do you get like dust? I am so curious. I'm so curious. Like, someone on the KVD fans Discord mentioned to me, they're like, hey Merlin, what if I bought like 4 of them and like, you know, out of the 4, just grab the parts that looked really good, all the parts that worked, and if I could even make 1 or 2 boards, I would have made my money back. And I'm like, that's true. That's very true. So hopefully people don't just buy like tons of them. bots will scoop them. Yeah, it's crazy. For 25 bucks for the polycarb, that is like, what? 95 bucks was already a good deal. 25 bucks for something that works? Insane. They probably already grabbed the good part, must be scrap. Probably. Okay, so to be fair, I think some of the, because he's selling D stock, C stock, and B stock. I'm willing to bet that these boards are all like, you know, people who returned them thinking like, oh, I bought a new board, it should be immaculate, even if I only paid 95 bucks for it, you know? People with too high expectations for what the board actually is. Like, oh, it doesn't dock enough. It's not as heavy as my key cult. Stuff like that. And Mike of Novelkeys probably was like, oh, okay, we'll just list this as B stock or like C stock like that. If you guys are interested, you can definitely pick up a polycarb. Think of it, this is a polycarb board. If you've never had one before, consider one for 25 bucks. Like, if you've never had a polycarb before and have been like, I do not want to spend 300 bucks on a polycarb board even though I'm like interested, this might be your chance. $6.2 and $6.3. There we go. Board will cost less than shipping. That's so true, King Friday. Let's see. Earth Soldier says, will Mike replace the PCBs in the D-Star? I have no clue. No clue. Prylosec says, curious how much work you'll need to do on those unchecked PCBs. Don't know. But seriously, 25 bucks? 25 bucks for a polycarb board? You know, if you're a decent solderer, if you know how to fix PCBs, even if you're not a good fixer, this might be worth for you. And get this is an in-stock item. In stock, right? So if you use my discount code WIZARD, you get 5% off of that. 5% off of 25 bucks. I'm like, how cheap are we gonna get here, guys? It's just crazy. But I guess that's what Black Friday is all about, right? Just get things super cheap. You know, at 25 bucks, it's like a stocking stuffer. Prylosec says, oh, end up hand wiring. That is actually a really good idea. Hand wire your polycarb board, because honestly, okay. Honestly, the polycarb is probably the most expensive part there. And will you look at that? We are done. As soon as I finish this right arrow, and we are done. There we go. Koi Key says stocking stuffer key. Like come on. Okay, so growing up in Taiwan, we didn't really have stocking stuffers because we didn't have like a fireplace to like put them up on, or we just didn't have that tradition. But ever since I came here to America and, you know, married my wife, her family has a stocking stuffer tradition. So I've always been like, okay, what goes in here? And she's like, oh, just like cheap stuff, like throw in like candy, throw in like something like like $10 to $15 and stuff like that. So a board like this, 25 bucks might be a little bit above that threshold, but I think it would be great. Like if anything, like this is gonna sound really bad, but even if you get the board and it's dead on arrival, completely dead, doesn't turn on, you try and fix it, doesn't work at all, you can reuse those hot swap sockets. You can reuse those hot swap sockets. All right. We're done. We are done with this part of KLE. We can now actually make the VIA JSON. Just to remind you, we are creating the VIA JSON based on the required properties that Can I Use VIA tells us. So here we go. Let's go into the VIA repo. Might I remind you, this is a completely different repo run by a completely different set of people. So let's see, 40% club has the 9 in it. Perfect. Perfect. Let's see, the way I like to do this, MF68.json. Wait, what did I do here? Okay, we actually need to have an MF68 directory. There we go. And then put the JSON in the directory. There we go. That looks better. What I like to do here is take an existing JSON, like so, and copy and paste it. Just because I always screw up JSON formatting, whether it be at QMK or at work. I always need to use like this JSON parser. So here we go. Let's just populate the correct things here. This is going to be 4D68. And the board's going to be called an MF68. Let's see, what else did we do here? Matrix is 8x9. Looking good. And we can delete this key map for now. Here we go. So let's go back to our keyboard layout editor, go to raw data, and instead of copying and pasting the raw data, you want to download JSON, open it up, go back here, there's your JSON file, copy and paste it into the key map property like so, and you should be done. So to verify that, let's actually open up VIA. Let's see, there we go. There's VIA. VIA is currently detecting my NK65 right there, which is this top board right here. Make sure if you don't have a design tab right here, that's the third tab, go into settings and toggle show design tab. So go to design tab and load up that JSON we just created. In our case, it is the MF68.json, and if you did this correctly, it should show up nice and pretty. And there we go, I screwed up. Reference a row and column outside of a dimension defined in the matrix property. What did we do wrong? What did we do wrong here? Okay, I know what happened. Let's go back here. Okay. So what we have here is the QMK code. And we've defined we've defined our rows and columns as 8 by 9. See, 8 rows and 9 columns. But when we actually go to the layout macro here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rows, correct. But look at our column count. That's a bit odd. That is very odd. We will actually need to fill that up. I don't know why that happened, but it happened. So there we go, that. And then okay, I just misread things here. I misread things. Here. That's not a 10, 11, 12, 13. That's actually a 1. So there we go. That's where I messed up in. That's where I messed up. Here, let me just fix that really quick. You know, let's see, 0, 10 is actually 1, 0. It's not 0, 10. That's the issue. 1, 0, 1, 1. I did so much better on the next couple rows, but these guys, I just somehow messed them up. Maybe it's because I'm drinking some wine and I'm not thinking too clearly. Also, today was a very code-heavy day at work, so my brain was fried to begin with. And adding some wine to the mix does not help at all. Let's see. Okay, so once we have this, let's re-download that JSON file. And we should be good. I'm just gonna do this off screen really quick. Tracing. Alright, let's going back to VIA right here. Come on, VIA. There we go. Design tab. Opened up MF68. Perfect. There we go. That's what I like to see. And this is something I like to show people just in case. You can always show the matrix. Oof. That is not a pretty matrix. See, Xenophobia says those should all be KC no. That is correct. Those should indeed be KC no. That is not a pretty matrix. But the true test is when you click on configure and plug in the board. Let's go plug in this board and see if it's actually detected by VIA. We'll see. We'll see. Of course the board's not being detected again. Just my luck. Just my luck here. Yeah, let's try again. Let's try again. I would hate to open this board back up. Yeah, it's definitely not detecting it. Let's see. Come on. Blah. Okay, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use the stock cable. The stock cable that comes with the board. There you go. There we go, here we go, here we go. Hopefully that will give us more luck. Blow in the connector like a Nintendo cartridge. Here, let's try this. Okay, board's plugged in. I'm gonna plug it onto the port on the computer. Please work, please work, please work. I don't want to have to open you up again. Why you no detect? Here, hold on. Let me just examine something. Let's see. 3430 3430 468. Let's try again. See, this board's plugged in right now. And it's currently typing, so I know the board's being detected properly. It's probably just something with my VIA. We'll go try again here. We'll try again. Design, load. Okay, we're back to here again. When I press configure, it should detect. There we go. It detects it. I don't know what was happening there, but sometimes VIA gets really wonky and you have to do like multiple plugs and unplugs. But here we go. This is it. Yay, it worked. Hooray. And with that, I'm gonna take another sip of my wine. Hydrate. Thank you, AM3 Nohi 13. Hopefully that's how you pronounce your name. But here we go. I am going to clean up some of my code now, just as Xenophobia mentioned earlier. And we'll need to clean this one up. The good thing about this is that we don't actually, have to do any other layout. This board literally only supports one layout. And I can do away with this stupid layout KC. Let's see, make 40% club, colon, or actually slash MF68. Ah, what happened there? I typed something wrong. There we go. Let's just make all of the key maps so that I know which ones break once I do the layout KC. Well, there is no ISO layout for this board, as far as I know. But here we go, the 68 keys, ANDI jack, default worked as well. Default 68 ANSI also worked. Slowly but surely. And there we go, something broke. Who broke it? Whose key map broke? I don't know his key map broke, but that means we can't completely remove it because we break someone's key map. So layout KC lives another day. Just verify that really quick. I think it's Deliverance. Deliverance's key map is what broke it. Alright, layout KC, you live another day. To fix you, I would need to change a lot of people's key maps, and when you change people's key maps during your commit, you need to actually get a sign off from everyone's key maps that you touched. Yeah, so, yeah. There we go. That's it. Let's see, I started this stream at 7:30, it is now 9:13. We had a few accidents along the way, but yeah. Within 2 hours, we got some VIA support in. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's see, let me adjust some of the rules.mk here. We are going to change that back to Katarina, just because that's what most people will have. Boot magic enable. Let's change that to light. What else do we want here? NKRO enable. We actually do want NKRO enabled, because I read before that Magic 468 is considered a gaming keyboard. And if it's a gaming keyboard, you absolutely want NKRO. So let's see, does that give us enough space to build? And the answer is yes. Okay, perfect. Good to know, good to know. Javon says, at least you didn't bleed to death. Yeah. Alright. Alright, perfect. Everything builds as expected. Let's go file a PR. Let's go file a PR in QMK. Oh wait, I actually need to commit my code first, you know. Here, let me commit that off screen. Excuse me. J Keebs, thanks for joining in. There we go, and I am going to pushing it over to my branch. And now, if we refresh the page, we should see a... not quite. There we go. Pushed less than a minute ago. JK Keefe says, have you seen GMK Hanok? Yes, I have. The brown set that's inspired by Korean architecture, if I remember correctly. Let's see. AM3 says, are all keyboards compatible with QMK and VIA? I have a TKL, and Maker said it's not compatible because of the Bluetooth 5.0 module. No. QMK can only be made to work on boards that have a certain set of hardware. Let's put it that way. What are my thoughts on it? Honestly, I haven't read too much on it quite yet, but it looked decent on first glance. There we go. Quinn Captain says good night. Good night to you too. Key map. There we go. There we go. We have filed our pull request, and now we will get to taking apart this board. Actually, if you guys were here since the beginning, you'll know that this is a board that I have sold. This is a board that I have sold. Hence, I will need to take off all of the keycaps. Oh wait, someone told me that they actually wanted a typing test on this, so let's do a quick typing test before we take off the caps. This is cat profile caps. I believe this is cat milestone, I think. Don't quite remember. Okay. Definitely going to be slower because of this guy right here. There it goes. "131 words per minute, accuracy of 89%. There we go. There we go. And with that, I'm going to take off all the caps. Cap time. It is still fast. Sounds great. It is a silent switched. Alias switches are a silent switched. All right. Let's see, where's my keycap puller here? There we go. I've got this Kale keycap puller that has room for three switches to go in. I only like keeping the top switch on, which I've made a Kale box white. And I've kind of left this position empty so that I can put my finger through it when I'm pulling stuff out. Go, let me grab an actual... Here we go. Got a little bin here. Hello Kitty power, I know, right? So I think last week I had some Disney princess ones. Alias silent linears. No, these are not linears, these are tactile. That flew up. They feel like vague linears. Well, yeah, they're kind of like the Cherry MX Brown. Yeah, they've also got a bunch of spring crunch. Like, I think when I originally bought these, I had planned to make MX silence. But I was so curious about how these would feel at work that I ended up just soldering them on. Yeah, they're not bad in my opinion. They're just, if you're looking for tactility, it is not the switch for you. Springs were interesting. Yeah, springs were super crunchy. Like even right now. There we go, there's a crunch right there. I can't even remember if I lubed these or not. This was like quite literally one of my first builds. Made MX silence, yeah. I have yet to build those. Like I've got the parts already set. I just haven't had the time to actually make them. I'm not too sure how I feel about silent switches these days. Like I like to hear my board, you know. There we go. There we go. I wish I had the keycap for these, but I don't. Oh, look at that. Why did I do that? I can't remember. I think I was doing that because I saw in the Cherry boards, the Cherry G80s, they would make the spacebar heavier. So I think that's actually a Zelio right there. I put a Zelio on. That might be a Zelio, a Xylent 65, I think? Can't quite remember. Silence is golden, but duct tape is silver. Alright, let's do this. Bonus switch. You know what, I'm gonna pour myself the remainder of this wine. King Friday says MX silence, fan could switch, a silent switch, so it's just less mushy silent. Yeah, I feel like for a good couple months I was really into silent switches because I was like really concerned about, oh, if I bring my keyboard into work, am I gonna borrow my coworkers? And okay, get this. I really should have thought about it harder. Because up till then, up to me going the silent switch route, I had been using an IBM Model M. And I'd been using it for over a year. So and no one complained. No one complained about that. So here I am thinking, oh, I'm gonna use silent switches and I'm worried I might disturb people. No, no, no. I've been using a super clocky board and no one cared. It was just me being self-conscious and all that. Yeah, this was years ago. This was like back in, I'd say this was 2017. Yeah, it's I think it's like interesting when I try and remember why I chose certain switches. Like these days I would not buy a silent switch. Oh look, apparently this board originally came with Otemu Browns. Alright, I gotta ship this board out. There we go. I gotta ship this board out, then I have to go through my list of switches, see which ones I just wanna get rid of, and make a posting tomorrow for the Macmillan fire sale. So yeah. Alright. Cool. Get the finger better? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's like I like happened to touch a solder joint and it went straight into my finger. So it wasn't bleeding until I put like pressure on it. Congrats to the new owner of the board. The new owner of the board is actually local, but since the new owner doesn't have time to come meet up with me, he's just simply asked me to ship it. So hopefully it won't cost that much. Alright folks, thanks for joining in on this, you know, mislabeled stream, because it's not a Tragicforce 68, it's an MF68. So yeah, thanks guys for joining in. As I mentioned earlier on the stream, I will not be streaming on Thursday, and more than likely will not be streaming on Saturday either. We'll be spending time doing the family things for Thanksgiving. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you're trying to learn how to do all this in VIA, it's not just this stream. Make sure you check out my other Tuesday streams. I not only talk about VIA, but also provide other ways to do things. So if you want to learn how to do this, check out those other streams. And with that, I'm going to bid you all good night. Have a good rest of your evening, good rest of your week, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Alright guys, have a good one.